Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to feature my SX SJM. This is the 62 model. So there you go. Take a look at that guy. These guitars came out in 2004. This one happens to be a 2004. It was a first run. It's pretty much a jazz master that somebody lopped off one side of it and called it a guitar, I guess. Okay, so let's get into specs on this guy. This is an alder body, so it's solid alder, which is fantastic. It's got a maple neck on it. They say it's Canadian maple. I mean, it's pretty good. It's got some figuring in it. It's a very pretty neck. True rosewood fretboard, and they put a skunk stripe on it, which is unheard of in this. So it's also, you got a three-way selector switch, a volume and a tone knob, two P90s, the rock and bridge, you know, like a typical jazz master would have, and this crazy jazz master tremolo. It's got just 6 standard SX branded tuners on the back of the headstock and roller string trees. It's a fun guitar, but you got to set these up right. This thing, it plays great. There's no crazy, you know, there's no fret creep, nothing like that. The neck's very smooth on it. It sounds really good. It has all the quirks of a jazz master. It's chimey and ringy. It makes all kinds of noise from back here. It's fun to play. Now, these guitars, when they came out, they were $180 from Rondo Music. So if you guys are familiar with Rondo Music, he also does the Agile guitars, the SXs. They're really cheap guitars and they're hit or miss. So you might get a really good one like this one. The only thing I've really done to this, besides set it up really well, is I've cut the nut slots so they're smoother, oiled everything, set this up right so that it works the way it's supposed to, because it didn't when I got it. It's just hit or miss. This one's great, and I've heard a lot of other people that said that theirs came to them virtually unplayable. Now, I do know now, also, if you do buy one of these, the newer one that is called the Liquid, it doesn't have the same specs, so it's made from a basswood body now. It doesn't have the same rosewood fretboard, it's something else. There were a few other models of the SJM, so if you can find the older one like this one, buy this one instead, because this is a way better foundation if you want to mod or platform it. The P90s are, the neck sounds fantastic, I'm not going to lie. This sounds great. This one's not so good, and you'll hear that in some tone comparisons when I hook it up to an amp and we actually play it. The bridge, the trem bar, it's gone. It's been gone. The holder in there fell out and the bar went goodbye. It happened twice, and then I just said fuck it, and that was it. So yeah, the rock and bridge works like it's supposed to. As you know with these guys, they are supposed to sit straight up and rock. They rock back and forth when you're using the trem system. The fretwork was pretty flawless on this. It was smooth, there's no fret out, so you can go all the way up the neck pretty easily. Fit and finish was really good. Mine's a little beat up over the years, but as far as the finish went, it's really pretty. It looks like an old Fender Jazz Master, that Daphne blue vintage spec. You know, it's just a nice guitar if you want one of these. Pick up the older one, like I said. You'll be a lot happier than with the newer one. The only thing that I should do with this one that I haven't is these tuners. These SX branded tuners are absolute garbage. They tune fine when they want to tune. When they don't, they're just shit. They don't tune for shit. As long as you got it in tune and your strings are stretched, it doesn't really go out of tune much unless you use this trem. You gotta oil everything, otherwise it will just completely obliterate your tone. And as far as intonation goes, it's fine. It intonates like a normal 6-saddle bridge. It does everything I want it to. It's fun to play too. It's got a nice, like, I'd say it's like a nice D shape almost, like a good Fender Strat feel to it. It's really smooth. It's comfortable. You know, it's not like, you know, my Charvel neck. It's not thin and fast, but it's comfortable and smooth. It's like playing a good Stratocaster if I had to choose a guitar to put it up against. All in all, it's a great guitar. We'll do some tone comparisons between the two pickups and put them together. The middle sounds alright. Like I said, the bridge pickup is meh. It's kind of meh. The neck pickup is fantastic. Super great pickup. Love the sound of it. Now, I did notice when I had this all apart, when I was restringing it again and cleaning it, if you look deeper into these, they're not... The bodies are one piece. Like I said, alder on this one. The routes are pretty not great. Like the route for this guy here, it looks like where the actual spring tension sits down into the body, they've messed up a few times and couldn't get that right, so there's a bunch of like routed holes. I wish I had a picture of it. I don't. And the route cuts for these are a little funky. Also, these are mounted. They're direct mounts like most P90s. So inside of here they've used what looks to me like 2 pieces of rosewood as the spacers to push these pickups up where they need to go, which is a little strange, but they are in a good spot. I mean, there's nothing too crazy. You can actually see, like, you know, they're where they should be. It sounds great. You could always change that later if you felt like it, put some foam in there or something else to push them up and actually get a little bit of movement out of them. The roller string trees, they don't roll. They're supposed to roll, and they do when there's no strings on them, but when there's strings on, they don't really move. So there's no, they don't, you can use the bar and they just stay where they are, so not great. Stuff you could upgrade, but at 180 bucks, you can do a lot with this. This is a hell of a mod platform. I mean, an alder body with a really nice neck alone, that's worth $180. You could throw some really nice P90s in here and a crazy setup like a Jazzmaster or even a Jaguar, and have a really killer guitar. And the nice part is everything's mounted with a pickguard, besides the pickups, and it all just pops out. So you can literally just take the pickguard right off, and then if you just unsolder this one pickup, you could take the whole thing out relatively easily. The saddles on the bridge, I'm not a huge fan. I hate these saddles. I hate this kind of saddle. It just drives me absolutely bananas. For this one, you can, I don't know if you can see, but like I have the strings pushed so that they're lined up with the neck right. Otherwise, if you put them in the middle, they're coming off the fretboard either way. So it's just not my favorite, but I do know this is pretty much directly changeable with either a Mastery, if you're into Mastery stuff, which they make phenomenal shit, or even like the Mustang style bridge and trim. It's all direct drop-in. This is identical to any kind of Fender that you would find. It's like they took a copy of it and just said that's what we want, and we want it perfect. And it does. It's direct bolt. So later on, if I ever got bored and I was like, this damn bridge, I could drop a Mastery in here, or even a Mustang bridge or a Jaguar or Jazzmaster tremolo, and it would drop directly in and bolt right on. So that's kind of cool. This was one of the first guitars I ever had with this kind of trim, so if you're not used to this, leave me a comment down below. I can do a setup video on how to set these up, because you have to have this to where it pushes down this little knob. So that's a stop knob for the trim, so if you break a string you can pop it down and push it, and then you won't lose your tuning, because it does float kind of in there on one spring, and then you have a spring adjuster. So if you guys want to see a setup video on this one, like how to set this bridge up and this tailpiece and this tremolo, let me know down in the comments, and I'll be more than happy to do a little setup guide on it, because it is a little confusing. It took me a minute to figure out how this thing works, especially this little knob, what it does, and this rockin' bridge tailpiece. So let me know down there. Let's plug this bad boy in and we'll get some tones out of it and see what you guys think of the sound. Alright guys, well that's the SX SJM. I hope you guys liked the video. If you did, leave me a comment down below. Hit that subscribe button if you like. If not, that's fine too. Also, check out my other stuff. You know where to find me. This is Garrett's Guitar Den. This has been the SX SJM. We'll see you on the next run.